Hey guys, welcome back to another Foundry review. We're taking a look at another Marvel movie today. We're actually going to go all the way in depth on a movie and really dig into one of the more recent movies that we haven't had a chance to talk about. So it'll be fun. We got myself, we got Johnny, and we got Sly. Are you guys ready to talk about Ant-Man, Quantumania?
Yes and no.
Fiending for this, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not excited.
I've actually been like really hyped myself up for the past couple days and be like, I'm gonna get fucking mad. I'm gonna angry, gonna get mad.
Get into this shit. Damn it.
I've been depressed, man. I've been dreading this moment. I was crying when I was setting up.
Procrastinating.
Not this movie.
So this review, we're not gonna go into spoiler territory yet. But when we do, we will fully announce that and then give it a minute in case anyone wants to click off the video and stuff. But we're going to give you our just kind of general thoughts of the film and kind of critique it a little bit of what they did wrong. And I think that's all they did was wrong, right?
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this was the beginning, or was this the end of Phase 4 or the beginning of Phase 5?
This was the start of Phase 5, I think.
Man,
Starting
what
off
a
with the hard questions.
very rough.
Yeah.
A very rough. Yeah, there's no real answer. No one knows,
Who knows?
honestly.
Who cares?
I think that's
Doesn't
also
matter.
part of like right off the bat what was wrong with this film was you didn't feel a transition of phases.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't really in previous ones either. Did
No,
you?
but at the same time, it was one of those things that it was subtle. It was like, you know what? I can feel like the theme of like where these films are headed is different. This one, it just felt like some like attempt at a feel-good movie that sucked.
Yeah, the writing was atrocious. The plot was awful. None of the characters were likable. Everyone
Yeah, even
sucked,
Paul Rudd couldn't save this movie.
which is a
Dude,
I
damn
love
shame.
Paul Rudd.
I'd
I
say,
love
And
yeah,
Anthony
me too.
Majors. As
Yeah.
class as he's been in some other stuff.
It's just there was a whole lot of rough in this movie. I mean, they're definitely I mean, if anyone's not aware, it's like fully like leaning into more of the multiverse stuff, like plot wise, obviously with the quantum realm and how that was used for, kind of time travel in the previous movies and stuff. So they're like building that up some more, which is awesome, but it's just a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, I
The
felt like
stuff in the quantum realm feels almost more alien than like small and miniature.
Yeah.
There's no like scale for when they're getting big and small because it's all alien. So like even when they're big, you're like, sure, that's big. They just look like normal people because I can't tell how big the things they're around are.
yeah, which kind of
so there's
defeats the
just a
whole
lot of
entire
stuff.
purpose of Ant-Man and why he's such an
Yeah.
interesting character.
And this is like they're in the quantum realm for like 80% of this movie. There's like 10 minutes at the beginning
So rushed.
where they're introducing, and then they're in the quantum realm for almost the entire rest of the movie.
True.
Yeah.
So it's
this
just
movie wanted to be
yeah.
Star Wars mixed with Guardians of the Galaxy. So fucking bad.
That is the
Which could
best
have
way to
worked.
describe this.
Thank you.
It worked.
Terrible.
It could have. I mean, like they literally they had the checklist of like, we got alien like comical character, like check. Like
got a
they went
supervillain.
through.
You got a cantina? Check.
Yeah. Alien languages.
They got the collector Bill, your lookalike Ken as well. They had
You're looking.
They have Kang. They just like right there. They have a great villain, but he just didn't feel intimidating.
I think
Just
it didn't
the-
help
the
that they
overall
had
plot was
another
weird.
villain in the film.
A sub villain, which was not really a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also
there's a
disappointed
lot of
that they-
stuff going on.
I'm disappointed with how they approached that whole thing because it's like, that is a pretty cool villain.
Yeah,
But
I don't mind how he was there.
yeah,
I feel like his character though was
awful.
very.
I was very
Whack.
pleased to see him, and I'm okay
Yeah.
with the merging of the two characters. I mean, like it's kind of
I
smart.
agree.
You don't need to be comic book accurate, but I'd say that was the best thing, but also the worst thing with how they did it.
Agreed.
I think I wanted to take my left and right thumb, and I wanted to press it against Paul Rudd's daughter in that film into her eyeballs. And not stop till I felt absolute
didn't-
mush and blood like fueling all over my
I
face.
feel like she's a decent actor. I feel like they just did her
Based
character
off what, this
dirty or
movie?
something. No.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, she did okay in this movie. She did a good job of making me
We're
upset.
lying now?
But I don't know if that was in their intention because their character was just whiny and like ungrateful and like greater than thou. Like, why aren't you doing more?
Yeah, the holier than thou feeling. Yeah.
It's like, what do you? Why are you feeling this way? Like, I don't understand. Your dad literally saved half of humanity, or more than humanity, the universe, and you're like, why aren't you doing more? Okay, sure, I guess. Like,
A number of
it wasn't a
times.
great introduction to the character. Like, you want to be on her side, but I'm sorry. It's hard to get behind you as a character.
I'm just not gonna like a character because she's related to a character that I like. You know, it's like it's not gonna how it's gonna go.
Yeah, and Hank was also weirdly like ants. Ants. I would have done it with ants. Or
The
like,
fucking
okay,
mom. God,
you're-
I wanted to shoot her in the fucking brain too, man.
Yeah, we didn't get exposition from her about her time in the quantum realm until halfway through the movie. Literally around like the 50-minute mark.
When we
which
watched
is about
that,
halfway.
we watched that react for this trailer. I was like, I'm pretty sure it said something about it being a CGI fuckfest. It's exactly what it was.
Oh, it is. And some of the scenes are beautiful. Sure.
And
But
yeah, I feel like in a way,
There's no reference.
sure. yeah.
Uh,
It was I think I'm ready to go in spoiler territory. I'm like there you go.
Yeah,
I would
we
say
can't skirt around it anymore.
There's
Yeah,
really
I-
not enough you can talk about to dissect this movie without the spoilers, and that's not good. That is not good.
I just want to tell everyone how fucking shitty this movie is, and you don't want to watch it. And I feel like this is part of the downfall of everyone being like, oh, you know, I think the Marvel is like it's not doing great in the box office. It's like, you know why? Because it's not a good movie. Bad movies do badly. Good movies
Yeah.
do good.
kind of like the one that's currently out in theaters.
It's a fucking it's an amazing concept. So bad movies are gonna continue to do bad until you fucking like change it up. If you if you want something different, make a good movie and you'll get a better outcome. Like that's how it works. You just can't like slap a Marvel logo on it and be like, oh, like there's a Marvel logo on this cardboard box. Like, what's in the box though? Oh, it doesn't matter. All right, cool. Here's $60. And like, oh, you open it up and it's a cube of
It's
shit.
just a guy flipping you off.
It's that too. It's just it's insane. It's fucking insane how they keep
then we
doing
just
this
can't
film
trust
after
Marvel.
film after film. No,
Because
you
they
can't.
keep doing it. We're just gonna our trust in like their quality of movies is gonna just go.
And I'm fucking
Straight down the
jaded
toilet.
and angry. I'm fucking angry, man.
Yep. So I guess spoilers, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So if you guys are watching, I'd click off. But I'll give it a rating. I give this movie a fucking 2 out of 10.
Shit.
Yeah, I really fucking hated this movie.
Damn.
Ken, you better not have anything higher than a 5, dude. There are no silver linings in this fucking film.
I will.
There are no silver linings in this film. All right, this needs to be below 5. Okay, am I clear? I'm back in John.
I agree.
I gotta give this a 3, man. What the fuck was this?
That's funny because I was thinking 5. Like it's a pretty like.
Dude, this movie's
It's-
not average. Come on. I'm not saying that like. It's bad. I think it is below average on the scale. I mean, like if 5 is in the middle, like that's your average film with expectations.
Average film is I don't.
Let's face it.
Yeah,
Look
it's
at
in
our
the middle.
reviews. How many times have we labeled a film collectively an 8 or a 9?
I don't know how.
Very seldom. It's typically in that 6 to 7 range, and a lot of 5s for the shows.
Was Thor Ragnarok? Love and Thunder after this?
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder was after this, yeah, and we fucking tore that thing down.
That one just made me feel more exhausted than anything. I think more than
I think what
angry.
happened was we went from Ragnarok, where it was like, damn, this was so good, and then they just overdid that comedic thing that they've been doing lately with Marvel, and we were like, this is tiresome.
I think everyone
This one,
a part of that film said that it wasn't done well, right? Post.
no, yeah, 100%. They all kind of ripped on it. They're like, this really was just a joke, just a whole joke.
A whole ass joke.
Anyways, all right, we'll go into spoilers. I just wanted anyone to think like, oh, well, how do you feel about it rating wise before you click off? There's a fucking
Violent.
2. Okay, there you go. Oh, well, you guys can fuck off. Thanks for watching. But here we go. We're gonna get the real fucking part of this goddamn
The
review.
meat.
This fucking terrible goddamn fucking movie, dude. Where they had this supposed to be the new Thanos, the character, and he's supposed to show his dominance, and they just fucking a fucking pushover. Every character is fucking idiotic and stupid and dumb, and everyone deserves death in this movie.
Damn.
Dude, it's so bad. And they take MODOK, who was like gonna be the coolest thing in this, because it's like, oh yeah, because they've been dancing around MODOK like since 2018, you know, because they thought that Peter Dinklage was gonna be MODOK. They've talked about MODOK like being in the MCU for ages, you know, been waiting for him. It's like, here he is, he's cool. It's like, all right, cool. It's a character from the first Ant-Man film. I forget his name, but he was cool.
Cross.
Yeah, Darren Cross. Yeah,
I was like Daryl, something.
yeah, and they just completely turn him into a fucking joke. It is a fucking joke. And he's like, oh, don't be a dick. And he's like, oh, you're my brother. And it's like, and he's like dying. And even the main character.
Avenger. No,
yeah, even the main character is making a joke out of this man fucking being mutilated and dying. It is funny to this main character, to this fucking hero, to this Avenger. It's funny to him. He's mocking him. What a fucking
nothing
douche.
Is serious in this movie.
Not at all.
I don't think there's anything that feels tense. I don't think a single moment in this movie where I was like, "Oh, geez, I don't know what's gonna happen," because
And the reason
I
for
can't
that,
figure out what's going on. Because
the reason for that is because you literally paired up a fucking menacing villain like Kang against a dude, as Kang put it, you fucking talk to ants.
and he didn't even use ants,
Exactly.
except right near the end when Hank was like, "Ants," and they're super evolved because time. Okay, cool.
Yes.
I was like,
Those time
that's
ants.
that's straight out of nowhere. That's so plot convenient.
This whole film
And it
was like
doesn't
so
feel
plot
like-
convenient.
Yeah,
It
doesn't
was
feel
just
the
immediately
heroes actually
jumped
did
in.
anything.
Yeah, they just immediately jumped in, and the old bitch is like, hey, I know these people. We're with them. It's like, this feels like Star Wars as fuck right now. I have no time to explain. Proceed to sit in a fucking, like, in a boat for 45 minutes and says nothing. What's going on? Nothing. I will tell you later. There's no time to explain. It's like, really? Because I would love to fucking know so I can have, and I like, a little bit of understanding would be nice here. Like, a little
I
bit
think
to
that's my
understand the
biggest
urgency,
gripe.
the severity of the situation.
The plot is they're trying to have that mystery about it, the intrigue and mystery, but it fails because one of the main characters could just resolve all that by saying literal words and being like, "Hey, so this is what's up," but without any good explanation, she just doesn't, and she's like, "There's no time to talk." I mean, actually, there is. I don't know. We could instead of waiting till halfway through the movie. That'd be great.
It's like, even though, like, I need to know the viewer who, in my opinion, matters the most. Like,
they should have separated Janet. If they got her completely separated and we were just in the perspective of the folks who don't know anything about the quantum realm, then all of this mystery, he who who shall not be named, essentially, all of that would make sense.
yes.
It would be fine. I'd be like, yes, we're all learning this together with this cast of characters. We're understanding this as we go.
And this great supervillain, his introduction into the MCU, besides, like, you know, other TV shows and shit. It's like, this dude's like pulling his punches the entire time. There's no explanation behind like what he can do, what his powers are. It's just like they briefly go over it, you know, when she's like looking back. And it's just fucking, everything is just taken so lightly. And it's like, this is supposed to be fucking leading up to a next decade of MCU films. I'm supposed to look at this guy and think about, and like, and be in fear. And it's like, how fucking dumb can Ant-Man be even at the end of the film when he's like, oh yeah, he's definitely dead. It's like, they literally showed a death scene like on fucking purpose.
Yeah.
Like, they avoided so much, and it just was done so badly in such a shit fucking way.
You know what I heard about the ending?
What?
I heard that it was actually a rewrite.
You're kidding.
The ending was supposed to be, I don't know if this is true, so take this with a huge grain of salt, but it kind of makes sense, to be honest. But I think the original ending was supposed to be Ant-Man and the Wasp essentially getting stuck in the quantum realm, and Cassie wasn't supposed to just instantly like figure out how to get them back out. Like, they were supposed to be separated, and the end of the movie would have then had them being stuck, and like another movie would be, or something else would be casting them trying to figure out how to get them back out, because they just got pulled in. They never figure out a way to go in between the two worlds.
Yeah.
So that could have been a whole other movie or some other project, and that's where it was supposed to end. but I think they changed it. And
They
just
couldn't have
had
done a
her-
TV show. What a shame.
I think that would have been a more interesting ending, because then there would have been repercussions to everything that happened in this movie, at least, and they would have been stuck down there.
And his sacrifice would mean something.
Yeah. So it would have been actually somewhat impactful, and would have had some meaning, and it would have been at least a little more interesting. It would have felt more like I don't know, like it was building up to something, because it ended on
more
a somewhat cliffhanger where
Substance
you're like,
there.
yeah, something's got to happen now. Like, dang, like Ant-Man actually like was willing to. He finally got everyone back, and his daughter and everyone, and like it's great, and he saved the world. But now he's stuck in the quantum realm again. Like, you feel bad for Ant-Man, but you're like, well, nope. I guess they just made it back. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, which is hilarious too, because it's like, hey, once you get through, don't turn it back on, because anyone could come through, and if he comes to the real world, it will be over for everyone. So what does this fucking moron do with no goddamn brain? She turns it back on and waits for Kang to come back through, and it's like, didn't they just say not to turn it on? Like they said at the very end, like they were teleported, they get through the fucking thing, they're waiting on Paul Rudd to go through. Paul Rudd does not make it through. They're like, you're supposed to shut it down, otherwise Kang will make it through. Kang almost made it through, but Paul Rudd barely made it. But like, she was supposed to fucking turn it off. It's like she turned it back on, right? It's like you just saw what fucking happened at the beginning of the movie when you did that. You decided to do it again. Have you not learned a lesson?
Yeah, you literally saw Kang be super powerful. Like, it's not like you just didn't know. You know, you were there.
Yeah. Just the whole relationship was completely cringe and not believable between anyone. The Hope and Michael Douglas, I can't remember. Like, so
Van
gross.
Dyne or
Yeah.
whatever.
Hope Van
Yeah.
Dyne and Hank Pym. Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Hank was weirdly okay with Janet getting it on with this other dude, and vice versa. And I'm like, okay, that's, I guess, a supportive marriage. Sure. That felt weird.
Yeah. The whole segment with it being like, oh, I waited for you, and she's like, oh, I just fucked this guy. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, that's kind of weird. I'm like, it's okay if it's implied, but they're just straight up like talking about it. He's like, yeah, I tried to move on, couldn't. And she's like, yeah, I've been banging aliens here. Like, day one, like, I was fucking, aliens were balls deep in me.
And Cassie was like, it's really strange because Cassie is supposed to be very smart because she figured out all this quantum realm shit
And she's
at
just
the beginning
on,
of the movie,
she's
but she's
fucking
also like
on
really
his-
dumb.
Yeah, she's on his dick constantly, like
fucking
grinding
stupid.
Paul Rudd. And it's like, dude, give him a fucking break.
Yeah, I don't know. She's both mature and not at the same time. It's
Yeah.
inconsistent.
How old
And-
was she supposed to be?
18.
That's
I don't
fine.
know.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it.
It's a great question. I assume in high school or something. Somewhere around there.
I thought she was supposed to be like just turned adult because I remember what he bumps into her in Endgame, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
he
where
goes
he's
to her
like,
house,
"Oh
yeah.
shit, I missed my daughter's like entire
Growing up.
childhood."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
just everything. Just Kang. It was his time to shine, and it fell flat. It was fucking wretched. MODOK,
Yeah.
wretched. They introduced a cool character, killed them off immediately.
The whole thing with getting the core was also weird. I'm like, the probability storm, like,
Oh,
I
with
don't
him
understand
like
how to feel about
stacking.
this because I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it was just gobbledygook. You know,
We like that word recently.
I really do.
I guess what I will say is I did like that they were like acting like ants to get like Ant-Man up there. I was like, that's kind of cool.
Shut the fuck up.
Like, no, I mean it was a cool like little scene by itself. You forget every other part of the movie. You're like, oh, that's kind of interesting. It's a nice idea, executed poorly, but I like the idea that there's a bunch of him and they're acting like ants because Ant-Man, they did similar shit in the previous movies where he's using ants to do shit like that. So
Yeah.
like I thought that was cool.
That
but
is kind of cool.
it
You
also
are right.
didn't
I
make
like the
sense.
symbolism and the imagery.
yeah.
But yeah, I did not get the different variations of him like climbing on top of each other in a something storm. I don't remember.
Probability storm.
Shitstorm.
Whatever that's supposed to mean.
Yeah.
Like, why was the Baskin Robbins guy there? Like, all the other ones fine,
I
but
don't
the Baskin Robbins guy
fucking
would never be there.
know. I don't
Like, it
know.
don't make no sense.
Nothing made sense at all. Nothing. The ending was awful. Everyone was
just
cannon fodder.
fighting.
The weird rebels was bullshit.
The guy who had a
This
hole,
movie was
who had
just
a
so
weird
fucking
obsession with
scattered.
holes.
Oh yeah, wasn't that like that Jello guy?
Yeah. I have a hole.
Little pudding dude. Yeah.
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 like,
It was
That
just
whole cast
nothing
of,
was
like,
fucking
characters.
funny. Nothing was funny at all.
I think I also don't understand why there's so many different types of like life forms down there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it was in space, sure, they all have space travel. But am I supposed to believe that all of them have figured out how to travel to the quantum realm and they're all from different places? There's no way they evolved like that in the quantum realm. Sure, it's like really strange, but like it can't be that different that there's that many different types of species and things all
Yeah.
in the quantum realm, and
Yeah,
also humans still. Like, what the hell is up with that?
Yeah, they're all sentient
Yeah.
and they all are building societies as if like we could recognize them in real life. Like really? Like they're all carbon dated fucking entities and organisms that
None of
are...
that shit made sense to me.
No, it's fucking unlikely.
And they never tried to explain it either. So it was just like we're supposed to just run
Fucking
with this.
Unlikely.
Okay.
They could have said like, oh yeah, it was first impacted by Kang, who actually shaped life down here and changed the ecosystem forever and halted certain things from evolving and fucking mutated weird DNA, and that's how society grew from him. He pretty much
Yeah, that would be
made,
interesting.
Yeah, that maybe.
It had a good script. Look at that.
Yeah,
But I don't know what I don't know if there's like if the comics are like that
maybe.
or if they explain it there or anything. But like in this movie, it's not explained, and it's tough because these movies like the MCU like before this, like did a decent job of having logic and like some way to like be like, okay, there's some stuff where you can just accept that's the way it is.
Yes.
But for the most part, it's still like scientific based. Like it's more science fiction in a lot of cases, and then there's also fantasy and kind of that stuff. But there's still some logic and reasoning to it. But like for stuff like this, I'm like I'm confused. I don't understand.
It is
at least in Star Wars or something, the species are like planet based, which makes sense based on our understanding of like science and shit. Even though that's like sci-fi movies.
Yeah, I mean, like, if we go to another galaxy and we see a human in a small village who being like, we're rebels of an oppressor, and it's like, are you fucking serious? How unlikely that's gonna be? No, it's okay
Yeah.
because this guy's head is a fucking light bulb. It's okay because it's different. It's same but different. But you fucking lazy. Like the amount of like zero creativity that went into this. Like, which is insane because like there's an element of science that you have to apply here. It's not just a different galaxy. I mean, like it's a smaller scale, but like I don't know, man. Just the idea of the quantum realm being like there's a whole universe inside of there is fucking. It's such a vast idea and really hard to fucking swallow too. That idea, I think so. I think
No,
it's
I
really
agree.
difficult to swallow it and explain it, which I don't fucking blame them. I'm sure that's a really hard thing to do, but also don't make it about don't make it about it if it's so hard to do. If you can't do it right, don't make the movie about it. That fucking simple.
Yeah, or just don't make it so weirdly complicated. Have fewer people there so we don't have to ask so many questions. Like have it more.
Did they mention how Kang
Of a
got to
void.
the Quantumania?
Yeah, because he was banished.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
exactly. I was
Kangs.
like, how did he get banished? Like,
From the councils of Kang, right?
Yeah, by the other Kangs somehow. I don't remember exactly.
Because he apparently was the
How?
worst one.
he let himself get beat by Ant-Man, so yeah, he was the fucking worst one.
Yeah, fucking ridiculous.
I'm sorry, but like, just I can't get through. I can't get over. Sorry, plot.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't really make
Weeb
sense.
in the
to me.
Ant-Man suit. Like, come on,
Yeah,
come on.
it's a bit of it's a stretch because like, I think in the comics like it takes a whole team of Avengers and shit to take him down. How in the world did Ant-Man, who doesn't really have like anything crazy, he's got like he gets
Yeah.
big. Okay, cool.
He gets big and small. Like, okay, those are his strengths. And then they're like, okay, that's what the hero is about. Let's make a movie where he can't use any of his strengths. or nothing can exploit this weakness. Like, really? Like,
I
fucking
still
really?
don't know why they needed Ant-Man specifically. Like, he's got technology for centuries. Centuries, I think is what they said. Beyond what like they can comprehend at this time. How have they not figured out Pym particles? Really? Centuries of advancement and you haven't figured out the same technology as
It's just
Pym
shitty,
particles?
shitty writing, dude. That's all it is.
Yeah, when they literally had it in the 1970s.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I
Like,
find it very hard to believe.
I'll give Hank Pym one thing. Like, you know, he always kept saying, he's like, I'm not sharing my fucking recipe with anybody, bro. And like, he
Right.
probably took that to the grave, sure. Like, kudos. But then keep in mind, fucking, what's his name? Ant-Man, like, gave it away in Endgame. He shared it with fucking Stark.
The formula for it or just the actual
Just
particles
the
themselves?
actual, like, Pym particles. And it's like, dude, like, if he really wanted to, man, they probably could have reverse engineered that shit.
Probably.
So it's like, you know, I'm just shook at the idea of, hey, here's a dude who probably can travel through time, right, Kang? What stopped this nerd from stealing one vial and just being like, all right, I'm gonna science this shit?
Yeah.
Well, he can't now because he's stuck. That's why they
Agreed
need to get
now,
the-
correct. But like, that's the whole point of time travel. It's like he's had infinite time to do that.
Yes.
So why didn't he? We know why he didn't during the movie.
I don't know, dude.
It's lazy.
Lazy as it's incredibly fucking lazy, and it's infuriating. It feels like just a big old insult to the brain, you know, because they just expect you to lower your expectations, which is fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a feel-good movie. You know, it wasn't just like a.
That's a good
you
point.
know,
It wasn't
a
just
sappy,
like yeah.
superhero movie plot. It was supposed to be.
Dude, they tried
to
to hammer. They tried to hammer that in at the ending too, when he's walking and stuff like that, talking to the camera. They tried to hammer that in so fucking bad, and all I felt was just anger. I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me with this shit, man! Like, get the fuck you, and fuck this movie." It's so fucking anger. It's so anger inducing. Why would you? I don't get it. It's like, oh, that's gonna kick off the new phase. Like, cool. Then fucking shit movie after shit movie after shit movie after shit movie. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 after shit movie after disappointing like season of show. I am excited because we are gonna do Guardians, and I'm excited to talk about that and watch that, and I'm kind of looking forward to Echo as well.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
a
few
little bit.
things, but I think, I mean, we've talked about this so much before, but I think we're in MCU fatigue right now, and the quality is low, so we're just not trusting what they have out, and they need to like step back, reduce what they're pushing out a little bit so they can make quality, so we actually give a shit about going to the movies.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, reorganize and like get a more straightforward picture of what they're going for and just like stick to it. Don't have all these different plot lines and like inconsistent character writing because we have so many projects going on. Like there's too many variations of like how these characters act in different shows. Like
It's not
with
consistent.
WandaVision and
It's not
like
believable.
multiverse.
Yep.
And like these characters just it's tough to get behind it when it's not. I don't know. It's just not the quality that you want out of a movie that's supposed to be setting up a bunch of stuff and like paying it off at some point.
Yeah,
because
it's like-
the details just don't matter. Like
No, they don't. The
used to
movie
matter.
itself doesn't even
They
matter because
used
it
to
just
matter.
sets up for something more important.
Yeah, but like that stuff used to be more subtly hinted at, and it was interesting. Maybe not super subtly, but like it was at least like gradually building up. You'd see hints of it. You get that little end credit scene of like, you know, Fury recruiting people for Avengers. You're like, okay, cool. Like we're leading up to something. But we don't even know what that is now. Like, I don't know what's going on. So, yeah. I think that's all.
I don't think we have a single good takeaway about this film. I mean, they introduced a new character that was trash. They brought back a variant of a character that was just underwhelming and like a cop out. They brought back a character that they had tons of potential with, that they could have done something exciting with, but they didn't, and they wrote him off and made his death a joke. I mean, they're not helping themselves. Marvel's literally shooting themselves in their own foot. Bad.
Just bad.
Yeah, I feel like they probably don't care either.
Well, they're gonna start caring when people stop going to the movies.
I hope
Which
that
they
happens.
are.
It's
because
currently
yeah,
happening with their latest
Marvel's
film. Yeah.
It's just absolutely like I don't know how bad the movie itself is, but people are just not showing up to the box office because
Yeah.
they
To be
just
fair, the
don't
first
care.
one didn't get a big show out either, unfortunately. But this one, I mean, the way they marketed it, one, they didn't help do themselves any favors there. And then just two, nobody's built excitement about anything on Marvel's end. And they're setting themselves up for massive disappointment.
Yeah, I'm not excited to see the comedy in the Marvel's film. Quote,
Oh, God.
comedy.
Yeah, I mean, not to get into that too much, but I've heard that Fury's character is vastly different than we just saw him in the Secret Invasion,
That's even worse.
which is like strange because he was, but it's just again kind of indicative of the problems at how they're trying to pull stuff together for the MCU. Like there's too many projects, and I don't think Kevin Feige is like able to make sure that everything is consistent.
Right.
So they need to do something there and like bring it back so he can be more involved and they have one solid person directing everything, or they need to like start splitting up some responsibility.
I don't know. I don't know what they need to do, but it's not fucking working, and it's definitely showing. I'd say
Agreed.
like this year and last year have been a lot of disappointing films, which is really shitty to say because the whole point of Marvel and that end screen where they're like, so-and-so will
Which-
appear next on this thing, on this movie or something like that,
Yeah.
And
We're like, yes. But
yeah.
now we're like, oh,
I don't care. Don't not give a fuck.
Yep. I miss those days.
Yeah, because it was more of an event. There was more time in between. It was like 2 years between movies. You'd be like, yes, sweet. Thor movie. Oh, sweet. Avengers. Like,
Yeah.
cool. And then like in those 2 years, you could get over your disappointment from the last one at least a little bit. But now you're just like disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. And they're only like weeks apart. You're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And it's just so much time. So much time.
Well, I think what's the number review for you guys? I feel like we should wrap this sucker up.
I'm sticking with the 3. This is trash.
I'll bring mine down to a 4.
4. All right. Well, then we're gonna go ahead and give this one a 3 then, I guess.
3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a 3 out of 10. I
Oh.
don't know a single reason to go see this movie. If you are into MCU stuff, I don't know one good reason.
I barely wanted to watch it when it was free on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be dead
you
on.
really had to twist your arm for that.
So many better things you can rewatch, and other things you can watch for the first time that are 10 times better. I would happily rewatch the first 2 Ant-Mans all over again than watch this one at all.
Yeah.
Happily.
I'd watch the first one for sure.
The first
That
one
a
was
good movie.
class.
I liked
The
the
second
first one.
one fell off a little bit, but man, it didn't leave me as disappointed and like ashamed as this one.
Yeah,
Ashamed.
Like
I
like, I had my
did
head
feel
hung low watching this.
there was a lot of guilt watching that movie and being like,
Yeah.
why did I give this time? All right, but
Yeah.
if you guys,
and I spent money going to the theater.
yeah, me too. I brought a significant other to the theater. What a fucking moron I was. But yeah, that's going to be our review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back with some more Marvel catching up to do. But we'll see you guys later on the next one. But until then, bye, slugs.
Peace.
Bye.